Now I'd like to introduce the NORAD Northcom Color Guard, who will now present the colors.
I guess I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one that we did. That'd be funny. If this is the one that we did. Yeah.
Right. Oh. Mark time. Mark. On the guard. Oh. Yeah. Hey. Present. Oh.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Ross, Chair of the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce and EDC Military Affairs Council Board of Advisors. I want to welcome you all to the 2021 Armed Forces Award Program. I'd also like to recognize some key attendees for today's event. From Senator Bennett's office, Mario Villagomez. From the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade, retired Major General Jay Lindell. From Colorado Springs City Government, Bob Cope, Economic Development Officer, City Council members Tom Strand and Wayne Williams. Mike Foreman, Town Manager of Monument. From the Boeing Company, retired Air Force Major General Tony Przybysławski. Brigadier General Thomas James, U.S. Army Commander, Joint Task Force Space Defense. Retired Brigadier General Ron Huntley. Fort Carson Garrison Commander, Colonel Nate Springer. Command Sergeant Major Adam Nash, Senior Enlisted Leader for the 4th Infantry Division. Colonel Donald Brooks, 1st Space Brigade, Fort Carson. Command Sergeant Major Kelly Hart, 1st Space Brigade, Fort Carson. Peterson Schriever Garrison Individual Mobilization Augmentee, Colonel Jennifer Fitch. Colonel Mafwa Kuvabadilla, U.S. Air Force. And it's now my pleasure to introduce the invocation video by Chaplain Captain Saul A. Rappeport. He is stationed at the United States Air Force Academy and is serving as the Cadet Group Chaplain. He's responsible for ensuring the free exercise of religion for 4,000 Air Force cadets by providing unit ministry, pastoral care, and counseling.
If you so choose, please join me in a brief moment of prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for bringing us all together today, virtually from near or far. Today, we recognize those among us who have far surpassed the standard of excellence set before them and have earned our recognition and honor. Lord, we know that each of these honorees owe much to those who have encouraged and supported them over this past year. Therefore, we thank you for each family and loved one who sacrificed so that our nominees could have success. We also give thanks for the co-workers, supervisors, and mentors who all contributed to our honorees' achievements. Lord, we are grateful for the Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC and Military Affairs Council for their dedication and support that they provide the many military members and their families in this city. We ask that your blessing be upon them and the important work that they do. May we all be inspired by the example of today's honorees, and may our service always bring honor to our great nation. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Rappeport. We are grateful to have such outstanding sponsor support for today's program. I would like to introduce our presenting sponsor, Colorado Technical University, with a video message from Beth Broughton, Campus Vice President of Community Relations.
Congratulations to this year's Outstanding Enlisted Award nominees. On behalf of the 2,500 faculty and staff of Colorado Technical University, I welcome you to the 2021 Armed Forces Awards ceremony. We are honored to be a part of your day and help recognize and celebrate not only your military service, but your service in the community for the Pikes Peak region. CTU's roots are deep in the Front Range. Founded in 1965 by two veterans in Colorado Springs, today our university serves 25,000 students across the United States and the world. Our campuses in Colorado Springs and Aurora serve as the foundation to support our students in Colorado and beyond. We are dedicated to giving back to active service members, veterans, and their families through higher education opportunities. CTU continues to be designated as a Purple Heart University, supported by our Patriot Scholarship, now in its 13th year, providing 50 full scholarships annually to those who have served or supported those injured in service for our country. We have given approximately $14.5 million to this scholarship. Our military support remains steadfast in Colorado today, since our founding 56 years ago. Congratulations once again to this year's Outstanding Enlisted Award nominees. We're looking forward to sharing your stories and recognizing your work today. Even though we're here virtually, we're still here to celebrate your accomplishments. On behalf of a grateful university, thank you for your service and dedication.
All right, and thank you to Beth and CTU. Now I'd like to invite Reggie Ash, the Chamber's Chief Defense Development Officer, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thanks, Jim. Good morning, everybody. Jim, we did have one late addition on our distinguished attendees today. I'd like to also welcome Councilmember Yolanda Avila. Next, let me congratulate our award nominees. I wish I was able to shake all your hands in person because you are outstanding representatives of our community. I also want to thank our sponsors and especially our presenting sponsor, Colorado Technical University, which is a strong supporter of military and veterans through their Patriot Scholarships and their other programs as well. I was thrilled when Jim Ross asked me to introduce General Hyten. General and Mrs. Hyten are tremendous friends of this community, and I know that many watching this ceremony know them personally. Colorado Springs is so proud that they'll be retiring here at the end of the year, and we look forward to welcoming them home. I lived across the street from the Hytens for 2 years while he commanded Air Force Base Command, and I commanded the 21st Mission Support Group at Peterson. We talked frequently during that time, and I can tell you firsthand the high level of importance that General Hyten places on caring for our enlisted members and their families. So it is very fitting for General Hyten to be our guest speaker today, helping us to honor the very best and brightest of the enlisted corps in Colorado Springs. General John Hyten serves as the 11th Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In this capacity, he is the nation's second highest ranking military officer and a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. General Hyten attended Harvard University on an Air Force ROTC scholarship and graduated in 1981 with a bachelor's degree in engineering and applied sciences. General Hyten's career began in engineering and acquisition before transitioning to space operations. He has commanded at the squadron, group, wing, and major command levels. In 2006, he deployed to Southwest Asia as Director of Space Forces for Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. He commanded Air Force Space Command right here at Peterson. And prior to his current assignment was the commander of U.S. Strategic Command, one of 11 combatant commands under the Department of Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely proud to introduce the Vice Chairman, General Hyten.
Thanks very much, Reggie. Thanks, Jim. Thanks to all my friends in Colorado Springs, and it's an honor to be here. I've been stationed in Colorado, and Laura and I are going to call it home once again here at the end of the year, as Reggie said. But I can tell you, we have been to many of these ceremonies, and I appreciate the Chamber and the MAC putting the ceremony on virtually. It's nice to sit here without a mask today because I'm vaccinated, and for the first time in a year, I don't have to wear a mask inside the Pentagon. It's a good feeling not to wear a mask. So if you haven't got your shot yet, I would consider doing it. Life without a mask is better than life with a mask. I'll just say that. For the enlisted folks that have been nominated, and every one of you has won a significant recognition to be here today. And you should take great pride in that. Like I said, I've seen many of these in Colorado, and usually it's downtown or at the Broadmoor in the International Event Center, and we get 500 or 1,000 people together, and we recognize you, and you get to walk up on stage and receive your proper recognition. And because of COVID, we can't do that. So when Christy and Reggie and when people reached out to me and said, would I take an hour off to do that? I said, absolutely. It's important that we recognize the people that actually do the work. And my son has pointed out to me many times since I've made general officer is that, and it's a good reminder, I don't do any real work anymore. I just have people. And when he first said that, it kind of upset me. But the more I've thought about it over the years, the more I realize he's absolutely correct. And the enlisted folks we're recognizing today are being recognized because they actually do the real work of the military. They execute the mission. They do the job that we have to do. And it's my honor and privilege to have the opportunity to work with you and to help recognize you a little bit today for all that you've done. Our business is a family business. It's maybe the most important family business. And I'll just give you a couple of small stories about what a small military we live in. And I'll make fun of Reggie Ash, and I'll make fun of Jim Ross. Not make fun of them, just recognize a connection. Because I'll just say I'm older than they are. And so we're of a little bit different generation, but we served in the same Air Force. And the first time I was assigned to Colorado Springs, I lived in a little house on Mirage Drive. I got there as a young major, and we lived in that little house in Mirage Drive from 1994 to 1996. And in 1996, we sold that house and we moved to Omaha to become a squadron commander at Offutt Air Force Base, where subsequently I became the commander of Strategic Command. So that's a strange coincidence in itself. But we moved in 1996 and sold that little bitty house. Guess who we sold it to? We sold it to Reggie and Amy Ash. Now, we didn't know them from anybody. In fact, we sold it remotely. And it wasn't until like 10 years ago that we were pulling out the paperwork to get rid of old paperwork, and we see a check from Reggie Ash for our house on Mirage Drive. It's just hilarious. And then we come back in the 2000s and I start off in Space Command. Then I become a group commander at Schriever. And then I get to take command, sorry, Reggie, of the best wing in the Air Force at the time, the 50th Space Wing at Schriever. And it was a glorious period from really 2005 to 2007. And then a few years later, Jim Ross shows up and becomes the commander of that same wing. The community there in Colorado Springs is special. And the reason I tell those stories is that we've developed friendships and bonds with each other as we served, bonds with the community that we served in. And every one of you now is lucky enough to be able to serve in that community. So today, as you're recognized, I hope you realize that you should be very proud of what you do. You should take pride in your accomplishments. But you also need to reach out to your supervisors, your mentors. You need to reach out to the community. You need to support the community when they ask, because they support you all the time. You need to thank the people that nominated you for these awards. It takes a lot of time to prepare the packages. You had to do the work, but somebody had to write it down. And the fact that they took the time to write it down should mean a lot to you as you go forward. So this is a family business, and I'm proud to be part of this military family, and I'm proud to be part of the Colorado Springs family. So again, when I'm asked to speak, normally I get to do it in person. Hopefully next year I can come as a guest in the audience and just shake people's hands. I actually like sitting in the back and just watching other people get recognized and other people talk. Hopefully we get to do that next year, but I hope you remember today as a memorable moment in your career, because it really is. And there's another interesting thing about today, and that is that 234 years ago today, this date in 1787, a group of people met in Philadelphia at the State House to begin work on maybe the most important document of our nation's history. It's either that or the Declaration of Independence, because they gathered 234 years ago to begin work on the Constitution of the United States. And every one of you that's wearing a uniform has raised your hand and sworn an oath. And it's a unique oath in the history of the world, not just the history of this country. Because we raise our right hand and swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. No other country does that. We swear an oath to a piece of paper. We swear an oath to, more importantly, the words on that paper. And the words on that paper define an ideal of what America is. And that country is what we swear to support and defend. And that is what you do. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is. We all get to wear the cloth of our nation and swear to support and defend her in war and in peace. And that is what you do. So I hope every time you take that oath and every time you hear those words, you think about what those words mean, because that ultimately drives what I do every day. I'll tell you, I get to do a few neat things as the vice chairman. Some days are not so fun, but every once in a while I get to do something that's pretty amazing. And I got to go to a dinner downtown right before COVID began here in Washington, D.C. And I got to have dinner with a lot of the senior leaders in Washington, D.C. And as I looked around the room, I looked at all the faces and all the names, and they're all faces that I recognized. And I realized, gosh, I really don't belong in this room. But holy cow, it was an honor to be there. And I knew I didn't belong because to my left and right were two Supreme Court justices, Anthony Kennedy and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Justice Ginsburg wasn't doing too well. And in fact, she would pass away just a few short months later. But to get to sit with her and to talk to her a little bit and to talk at length with Justice Kennedy was one of the honors of my life. And one of the interesting things I do is I carry around the Constitution with me wherever I go. It's always on my desk, always with me. It's the gift I give people that work for me, because that's what we swear to support and defend. So we should all read it. We should all understand it. And so I'll just say that Justice Kennedy knows more about the Constitution than I'll ever know. But It doesn't stop me from wanting to talk to them about it and debate what it really means and debate the various elements and debate the different pieces about what it means to the military and those kind of things. And I think he got a kick out of that dinner as we spent 2 hours together talking about the Constitution and how important it was to this nation over and over again. I think Justice Ginsburg got a kick out of watching her friend, Anthony Kennedy, and a four-star general that she never met before, debate the Constitution at dinner. As a pretty cool thing. But then an amazing thing happened at the end of the dinner, because a couple hours later, and one of the first to leave was Justice Ginsburg, because she was not well and she needed to get home, and Justice Kennedy was helping her. So Justice Kennedy had to leave too. And as he stood up and I stood up to say goodnight, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out this white paperback version of the Constitution, which was his version of the Constitution. And he gave it to me with his little pencil scratches and various things into it. And he said, I think this will mean a lot to you. So on my desk today is a copy of Justice Kennedy's version of the Constitution. But I tell you what, I don't care what version of the Constitution you have. You should have one, and you should read it every once in a while. You should just pick it up and pick a piece, because the fact in that 4 months and 3 days in 1787 that our forefathers were able to figure out a system of government that the world had never seen before and put it in place and set up civilian control of the military and create it so that the military would support our civilian leadership and not control the nation, to set up all the checks and balances between the different parts of our government. It's just amazing to read. So I encourage you to do that. But for the young men and women who are being recognized today, you need to understand that, well, I'll just say I had a good friend who was sitting in front of a large crowd of people your age one day, and I heard him say something that was humorous and profound all at once. He looked out at the crowd, and this is not to Reggie and Jim, this is not to Kristen and Morty, this is not to Sergeant Major McWilliams, this is to the nominees. He looked at that group of people and he said, you know, all 4 stars have 2 things in common, and only 2. Every other aspect were different. The 2 things we have in common is, number 1, we're all circling the drain, which means we're about done. And goodness knows I'm circling the drain and I'm about at the bottom, because on November 21st, by law, I will retire and I will come back to Colorado. But we're circling the drain, we're done. And the second thing is, we all wish we were you. We would wish we could go back and do it all again. Yeah, it'd be nice to know what we know now, but even if we didn't, we would want to go back and live the experience we've got to live again, and find the different paths that we would find through, and run into whoever the Reggie Ash was, whoever the Jim Ross was, whoever the Kevin Mortensen was, whoever the Kirsten Kirsty was. Just come across them in our paths and find a new way, because, oh my gosh, it's an amazing life. It is such a blessing to live. And you look at some of the backgrounds that you guys have, and it makes me very, very jealous, because the backgrounds are Garden of the Gods and Pikes Peak. And Morty's background, by the way, is the view from every window of my retirement house. Not quite that close, but that is the view. Garden of the Gods and Pikes Peak from every window of the house. So you should feel blessed about where you live. You should feel blessed about the country that you live in. You should be blessed about the opportunity, but you also understand that this is a dangerous world. And this world is full of threats. And when you swear that oath to support and defend the Constitution, you are swearing to lay down your life if called upon for the nation that you serve. And many people that came before us have had to do that same thing. I tell you, it's worth fighting for. This country, with all its faults, is still the shining light on the hill. And we have to be able to defend her still today. So I congratulate each and every one of you for what you have done. But more importantly, I want to congratulate you and thank you for what you're about to do. Because it doesn't matter whether you're a specialist, a staff sergeant, a sergeant first class, doesn't matter what your rank is. Your greatest days are still ahead of you. That's because we still have work to do. And it's the work that you have to do, because we won't do it. I'll be sitting on my deck in the backyard looking out at that view, and I'll be cheering you on. I may be encouraging you from up close. I may be encouraging you from afar. But if you ever need anything, all you have to do is find me and I'll come running. I won't be wearing a uniform in 2022, but I'll always be part of the United States military. So thanks very much for giving me the time to talk today. Thanks very much, and congratulations to each and every one of the nominees. It is an amazing achievement, and enjoy the recognition that comes with it, but also make sure you remember the obligation because you have lots of work to do. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you so much, General Hyten, for your inspirational words and for taking the time to speak with us today. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, we had a very impressive 14 nominees in 3 categories of junior, mid-grade, and senior enlisted ranks for today's awards program. Congratulations again to all of the nominees. Please run the first nominee video.
My name is Emily Daly. I'm a specialist in the Army. I serve in the 4ID band in the Army where I play the flute and the piccolo. Having not been in that long, I don't have a lot of awards, but my favorite is my Army Achievement Medal. And I earned that from doing competition boards. I worked really hard and I was able to win Soldier of the Month for the battalion and Soldier of the Quarter for the battalion. I think my favorite community involvement was actually one that I did with the band. We got the opportunity to do some master classes with some high school students. We did them virtually, which was a new experience for me, but it was really cool to be able to kind of brush off my teaching skills and work with the students in the community to be able to do that for them. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting this together and giving me and my fellow soldiers the opportunity to be represented and share our stories.
And the winner is Specialist Emily Daly, 4th ID, Fort Carson. And Specialist Daly, please unmute your mic.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wow, I was not expecting this. So thank you very much. I have some leadership in the room, so thank you all for helping me work with this and just for giving me the opportunity to shine, I guess. It's I like what I do. I enjoy my job, and it's nice to be able to get together with these people every day. And this is a really cool bonus. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, please roll the second nominee video.
My name is Sergeant Andrew Higginson. I am a part of 1st Space Battalion in the U.S. Army. My proudest accomplishment is taking soldiers to be a part of the German Armed Forces Proficiency Badge up at the Air Force Academy. It's really exciting to give those soldiers unique and new opportunities to do things they haven't had before, and for ways to make them stand out like they wouldn't have normally. I got Soldier of the Year for my battalion this past year. Now I'm looking forward to, taking that experience and the knowledge that I've gained through going through that and mentoring soldiers, showing them what's right, what's wrong, what they can do to succeed and become a better leader. I love that we have the freedoms that we have. That's the whole reason we fight as an army, is to protect those freedoms, and some of those freedoms you don't get anywhere else in the world.
My name is Abigail Martin. I'm currently a Staff Sergeant Select. I will sew on after I'm done with Airman Leadership School next week, and I'm from the United States Air Force. I'm a professional musician by trade, so I was, when I was in grad school right before I won my position with the Academy Band, my dream was to just be a full-time performing musician. I play French horn. And I'm very grateful to be here and that they saw that, you know, my involvement with the cadets at the Academy and, you know, through Special Olympics and the volunteering that I did during COVID with our pharmacy to try to get, you know, critical medical supplies to our community. It's great that they recognize, you know, not just outstanding enlisted members, but I know the Chamber of Commerce has a variety of awards that they use to recognize community members in Colorado Springs. And I think it's wonderful that they include enlisted personnel. So thanks for having me.
I'm Kiara Kashner, Staff Sergeant in the United States Air Force. My actual job is personnel, military records, personnel records, just basically ensuring that everybody in the military is well taken care of, whether it's reservists, active duty, veterans, dependents, retirees, that kind of thing. Serving has taught me teamwork, unity. That's something that I've learned the most. So my favorite one so far has been the annual Stand Down Day, which is basically resources that help out our local homeless veterans or even just veterans alone. It's just so nice to know that there's people out there that do want to get the help and use the resources that they're actually entitled to use. And if they're struggling in certain ways, at least we know that us military members here can help out. Thank you for giving me the time and taking my nomination. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, to supervisors, leadership that have been very supportive and been able to get me to where I am today.
I'm Joshua Dahl. I'm a Staff Sergeant in the United States Army. I'm a trumpet player by trade. I've been in for 18 years, so I have a lot of experience. For the rank I am as a Staff Sergeant, we're more leaders as in teachers. You know, we're helping soldiers grow, even if they're older than we are, especially in the band field where a lot of them come in with their graduate or undergraduate degree or their master's degree. So they're adults. It's good to see that progression that you had to help in their career and advancement. My last duty assignment, I was assigned as the public affairs non-commissioned officer in charge, and I have no experience in public affairs. I went to school for music and German. And by the time I left Germany, my work and design was incorporated and used by the United States Army Europe for the official marketing campaign for D-Day 75. I feel like I can't thank my wife enough for what she's done. She left her professional job and followed me, and she's given up so much to let me finish my career, you know, for another 9 years.
Hello, my name is Andrew New. I'm currently a Tech Sergeant in the United States Air Force. I currently do cybersecurity. In the Air Force, we call it cybersurety, but accreditation, documentation, and accredit weapon systems. I love the job satisfaction and knowing that what I do matters, things that I know it has a direct impact on not only what we're doing now, but also in the future. I would say my proudest military recognition would be my Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal. So to me, it was a culmination of all my volunteering and service that I've been able to do for the community in my career so far. Being in the Springs, what I like about the most is probably the sense of community. I feel like everywhere I go, I feel like I belong, and people are just very genuine and nice. What I like about the Air Force is just how well they treat their people. I feel like there's a lot of room to grow and progress as an individual, and while also being an airman.
I'm IS-1 Lindsey Conley, active duty U.S. Navy. So I joined the Navy after I graduated college to join the intelligence community, almost 6 years now. My proudest accomplishment would be my previous command. I was working at Cruise Missile Support Activity Atlantic, where we do cruise missile mission planning, so big events. So right now I'm working in the space domain, and basically we make history every single day at work. So that's what I enjoy most. In my profession, Intel drives operations, so operations depends on me providing good, detailed work every day in order to keep warfighters safe. So just the significance of the work itself that I'm doing makes me proud.
My name is is Meagan Churchill. I am a yeoman first class in the United States Coast Guard. I am a yeoman, so I do pay and administration. I have been in the service for a little over 9 years now. I'm organized. That's my biggest strength, trying to get everyone else on task and kind of organize the project and see like the vision of how it's going to start to finish. And I love that aspect of it. There's just something about just interacting with a customer in general. You just really get to know someone. I came from overseas, so I came from Bahrain. So you serve at minimum a year there, and you have to volunteer for the opportunity, and they have to hand select you. It was the first branch of choice for me. And there's just something about Coast Guard members that we're like a family. Every single place I've been, those people and how happy they are to serve this branch. It just gives you such a good feeling on the inside. I love it.
And the winner is Tech Sergeant Andrew New, 5th Space Control Squadron, Peterson Air Force Base.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you for the recognition. Means so much, very humble for it. Everything I've done to give back to the community, to be recognized for it, just means a lot. And I look forward to what I'm going to be able to do with the community moving forward and everybody that's been recognized, especially the Chamber of Commerce and the Military Affairs Council. So thank you so much.
I'm just looking to kind of quick stab into that. One, the fifth, the pinnacle of space control is always known. Andrew's awesome. It's now good to see the community and the joint community see that. But unfortunately, we're hoping this is his last enlisted award as he's submitting the packets for OTS. So hopefully next time he'll be on this side presenting the awards. So good luck to Sergeant.
Congratulations and good luck with OTS. Please roll our final nominee video.
Hi, my name is Master Sergeant Johnson, first name Desmond, and I serve in the United States Air Force. I have been in the Springs for 3 years. My current job as the Career Assistance Advisor is a special duty, but my first 3 years were spent in my primary career field, which is mental health technician, but certified alcohol and drug counselor. Serving in that capacity for the past 3 years, working with cadets, working with the, all the other beneficiaries that are in this area. I like to say I went from one weapon system to another, which is the human being, right? I feel fortunate, and I like to thank the Military Council for nominating me. To know that the community is putting these things on and recognizing our members that serve, I think I'm chilled and I'm humbled to be in that category of names.
My name is John Robertson, and I'm a Sergeant First Class in the U.S. Army. My favorite award that I've received has been the Meritorious Service Medal. It's red and white one here up top. I received it for instructing over 300 NCOs, non-commissioned officers, over a period of 2.5 years, and it was my pleasure to guide them, coach, mentor, develop them when I was an instructor. It was a very rewarding experience, met a lot of great and amazing people, and it was a joy to work with them. There's an organization here in town called the Colorado Springs Rescue Mission, and they focus on meeting the needs for the homeless community here in town. They work very hard to provide meals, lodging, and learning opportunities, professional growth experiences for individuals who need them and are trying to get back on their feet. And it's my pleasure to be involved with that organization. Other than the fact that we get snow in May and June, I'd have to say my favorite thing about Colorado Springs is the community. In the 2 short years that my family and I have lived here in Colorado Springs, we've made many connections in the military and civilian community both. And we've met just many great people, and I just love being part of it.
Hi, my My name is Jessica Faye Llavet, and I'm a Sergeant First Class in the United States Army. What I do for the Army is air defense artillery. I work with radars and I work with early warning, so early warning and detection of ballistic missiles. For me, all of my military ribbons are important to me, but the most special one is my Mavusum. It's the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal. Since I've been in Colorado Springs, I've been able to volunteer with my Soldier Family Readiness Group. And with that, we've done events for Hispanic Heritage Month, safety stand-downs, and holiday celebrations. We also recently created a monthly newsletter where we compile upcoming events and resources in Colorado Springs just so that we can give the soldiers and families something to do while they're here. I think one of the things about my experience in the military that I find most special is that you have a family everywhere you go. You have a connection with people and they understand. So you go through the same kinds of hardships and there's just that really unique bond.
My name is Frances Dupris. I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. So I'm Native American, and being, I would say, a warrior or an Akichita, that's how you say warrior in my Lakota language. And I would say, serving our country in this land has been embedded in our blood, if you will. I've been in a little over 20 years. So in the Air Force, I stood up a STEM program for local K through 12 school. And a group of us went and volunteered and did interactive talks with them about science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That's one of my proudest accomplishments, was actually standing up that program. So right now I'm the superintendent of the intelligence division for Space ISR Delta 7. It's awesome, actually, because saying that years from now and saying I was a part of that, setting the foundation for the future and working alongside other guardians, something that not everybody will get to have. I'm very honored to be here, and I'm grateful for my supervisor, my chain of command. It's humbling to know that they would nominate me.
Hello, my name is Jarad Underwood, and I am a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. My favorite ribbon, the one that probably means the most to me, is the Achievement Medal for my work in developing the mission-ready training for my career field. And so because of my prior service experience, I got to be a big part of that and develop this training that helps SEER specialists that I know, as well as future SEER specialists, making sure they're better trained and equipped to go out and deal with whatever it is on their deployments. I've had some awesome experiences. I have been able to do some training with the local law enforcement agencies and some of the local federal agencies, or the agencies that are housed out of here. I've got to do some training exchanges where I get to train them, they get to train me, and everyone's better for it. But probably the best thing that, at least for me and my family, has been the community. Our community, particularly our little neighborhood that we live in, has become super close. To just have that family feel, that tight-knit community, it's really similar to living on a base, but not. And it's been a super cool experience and an awesome blessing for us to be part of this community and to just get to know all these people around us, and it's just been awesome.
Hi, my name is Amanda Higdon, Sergeant First Class, United States Army. So I've deployed twice to Iraq by the time I was 21. I've been in the Army almost 17 years. I'm currently the Senior Human Resources NCO of NORAD and U.S. NORTHCOM. So my proudest accomplishment, I would have to say, in July 2018, my battalion S1 shop received #1 of 30 rankings in the 1st Cavalry Division HR metrics. It's one of my proudest accomplishments because it allowed my soldiers to see that all the hard work and dedication that they continuously put in actually paid off. And now they were #1 in the division for that month. I've volunteered at 3 different locations so far since I've been here: Care and Share Food Bank, Habitat for Humanity, and Stable Shrines. I'm trying to get my office involved at least once a quarter to go out to one of these places that can accept a big group of people to volunteer. Lead by example. That's how I try to do, right? With hard work and dedication, you can get anything done.
Jim, you are muted, Jim.
Yep, Jim, you're on mute.
Okay, and the winner is Sergeant First Class Jessica Llavet, 1st Space Brigade, Fort Carson. Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank God. With everything that I do, I wouldn't be here without him, without his favor and his grace. But I'd really like to give another thank you to my family. So I have my husband here, and then my son and my daughter, and we volunteer as a family. So I couldn't do this without them, without their support and just being there for everything. And then I'd like to thank my unit for space, showing up and supporting. You guys are awesome. And thank you for the recognition. And I was watching all the volunteer videos. You guys are great. That's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you, Colorado, for the Chamber of Commerce and EDC. I appreciate it. This has been an honor. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our outstanding enlisted women and men, and thank you to all the supervisors who nominated their deserving military members. We'd like to thank the Military Affairs Council panel of distinguished judges, please. Thank you for all your hard work. Now please enjoy the 4th Infantry Division Band playing the Services Medley. Thank you to the NORAD US Northcom Color Guard, the USAFA Band, and the 4th ID Band for supporting this great event. I would like to thank all of the chapter and MAC leaders who made today's program possible. In particular, a special thanks to Danny Barger, Chris Carlson, Reggie Ash, Kristen Christie, Kevin Mortensen, Andrea Mensink, Brad Barrett, and of course, Beth Leake, our MAC coordinator extraordinaire. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and please stay safe and healthy.